Hey guys, how are you? It's Zach from Zach Loves Books. It's good to see you all again. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new here, then welcome. If you're not new here and you come back because you've been here before, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. And if you haven't, then don't forget to do all that if you like the content. And once again, it's Zach from Zach Loves Books. And today I'm here to do the BookTube Newbie Tag. I see that's the kind of thing that a lot of booktubers are doing, so it's probably something I should have done like, I don't know, 16 videos ago. This is like my 17th, this is gonna be, I think, my 18th video. So not that I'm an old hand at this, but I'm still considered quite new. Like when I look at other booktubers and see how many videos they've done, then you can really feel like an amateur or a newbie, as they say. But so I don't know exactly how to start this. I didn't know if there was a format I had to follow. So basically I just Googled how to do BookTube Newbie, and I found some questions online, so I'm gonna just answer them. And if there's any questions that you might have for me that I don't answer now, and you just want to like maybe put them down in the comments, I can answer them afterwards for you. So yeah, put them in the comments and I'll make a part 2. All right, but anyways, let's start. These are just a sample 11 questions I'm going to cover that I downloaded off the internet. They may not cover everything and maybe what you want to hear, but like I said, it's a start. So let's go. Number 1, why did you start this channel? So I started this channel because I don't want to say it's out of boredom. I guess I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel. I mean, I've been watching a lot of YouTube maybe in the last year or so, other people's channels, like news channels, media channels, and whatever. And it's like, yeah, I used to just watch YouTube for my own, personal uses. But I never really thought I could start a YouTube channel. I never even thought about it. So I was actually going to start a channel on drawing because I like to draw cartoons, and I've always drawn cartoons since I was a kid. And I was going to get back into it, and start sketching. And because I haven't picked up a pencil in 20 years, but I bought an iPad with an Apple Pencil. So what I was going to do was start a YouTube channel and show other beginners who want to draw how to draw, or my style of drawing or cartooning. But it wasn't enough, so I'm like, when I say enough, I mean, I just felt like I haven't drawn in a long time. And so I was like, what's my other passion? And my other passion is books. You can see I have all these books behind me, maybe about 100 books out here on my balcony. Inside my place, I'm surrounded by books everywhere I turn. I maybe have 2,000 books on me and, inside. So it's like books are a big part of my life. And when I'm not, reading books or perusing books or at a used bookstore or at a book sale, I'm somewhere reading a book. So books are a big part of my life. Kind of like Linus from, the Peanuts gang. They're like my security blanket. And, I can't stop reading and talking about authors and just books in general. So, yeah, I want to start this to, join a like-minded community and, just see where I could take it. So started it sort of as a hobby. If down the road, out of that love, it can become monetized, hey, that would be great. If I can get to that level. If not, then I'll probably just keep doing it anyway. Number 2, what are some of the fun and unique things that you can bring to YouTube, that I can bring to YouTube? I've been watching so many booktubers lately, and so many YouTube videos. And as much as everyone's trying to do the same thing, I think that everybody that starts a channel like this, and in this regard, like a booktube channel, that I'm gonna try to just bring what I can only uniquely bring, which is, my style, like the way I think, the books I read, the books I like. And because I find that, if you watch someone like Rick Rubin online, the famous rap producer, from the 80s, who's like this, guru right now, and, with the beard, and he looks like the man from the top of the mountain. It's like you just gotta be yourself, because if you be yourself, then you'll have no competition, and if I just do my booktube content how I want to do it, and then and people can try to imitate or duplicate what I do, but it won't have the same flair that I bring to it ever, because only I can do what I do. So that's what I want to do, plus I want to maybe brainstorm some ideas that are outside of some of the things that I see that people have been doing. Like, for example, I mean, some people are doing these, you know, um, monthly TBRs, and they're saying they're reading 10 books a month and whatnot. It's like, I tried that with April and I couldn't do it. I failed. So, I'm gonna do something different, and try to brainstorm some kind of unique post that I could do to bring something new, but also something that's completely me. Number three, what are you most excited about for this new channel? What am I most excited about for this new channel? I'm excited about, all of it, just to see where it can take me, see how far I can take it. And, it's all really exciting to me right now. I didn't really plan, the past 16 posts that I've done. I didn't know I was going to pick the books that I did. I didn't know I was going to, read the new books that I have, and maybe rehash and review some of the books that I've already read. Um, but I already feel like everything's exciting to me. I don't even know how each post is going to turn out. And I didn't know what it would be like for me to be talking into the camera. And, if you watch my first video, and you'll see that, like everybody else, I look uncomfortable in front of the camera, but by this point, I'm way more comfortable. Not completely 100% comfortable like I see some people, and I'm more comfortable than I was at the first video. Number four, why do you love reading? I love reading because, well, when I was a kid, I got my tonsils out. I ate all this, food in the hospital. I became tubby. I couldn't play sports. So I spent all this time in the library, and all I did was read. I mean, that's all you can do in the library as a kid. And I found all these fascinating books that were way beyond my age, that were really interesting. I talk about it in another video, but, I'll talk about it again, because I'll never forget those years, those golden kind of years when I was 8 to 10 years old, being in the public library and reading about nuclear war and nuclear fallout, and those books scared the crap out of me. I went home and told my dad we had to build a bunker, but that was the beginning of it. And ever since then, like, it's just, me and books have had this, like, beautiful relationship together. It's like books are like the first love of my life before the real love of my life and my family. So, and yeah, I love reading anything too. It's like, if I don't have a book on me, I'm reading like an EPUB on my phone, or a Kindle book, or I'm reading the pamphlet at the doctor's office, or a billboard, or I always have a book on me though, either a physical book, or I have an e-reader. So reading, I'm always reading, and I'm almost afraid to think of what I would do if I couldn't read. So yeah, I'm gonna read forever. So I guess that answers that question. What book or series got you into reading? Question number five. What book or series got me into reading? I've never really been like a series guy. I mean, I don't read fantasy. I mean, there are some authors that I like, where I've started part of a series book, like like Linwood Barkley, who's a Canadian mystery author who is endorsed by Stephen King. He's like our Stephen King, and he has a series of books. I mean, it's the same thing all the time, but just thrillers. But series, Stuart Woods, fiction thriller author. He had, I think, a couple of different series books. One was a Will Lee series, Holly Barker, and Barrington Stone. I only started the Holly Barker. I read the first one, amazing. Wild Orchid, I think it was called, but I read two other, not Linwood Barkley, Stuart Woods, rest in peace, he's gone now, and lived a long life, interesting life too. He was a millionaire. He had a pilot's license. I think he was into sailing, and he had a sailboat that he raced. But he must have wrote like over 100 books. He was very prolific. But the thing that I loved about Stuart Woods was that the way he wrote his books, and I read, like I said, I wrote Wild Orchid, and the other one was called White Cargo, which was amazing. That was the first Stuart Woods I read, and I just read it on a whim. But in that book, the way he writes the chapters, it's like you read one chapter, and when you get to the end, he already hooks you into wanting to read the next chapter. So he does that chapter after chapter, and each chapter is only about 10, 15 pages long, and before you know it, you're halfway, 3/4 through the book. And then I was like, wow, what a ride. It's just amazing books. I'm going to cover Stuart Woods' White Cargo in another full review, and maybe even Stuart Woods' Wild Orchid in another review. But like I said, yeah, series-wise, that's maybe what got me into reading later on, but not originally what got me into reading. What originally got me into reading was choose your own adventure books when I was a kid, basically. And some of those RPG books are, I forget what their author's name was, Stein or some, those RPG books where you would put your stamina and your strength and you would roll the dice and fight. This was before Dungeons and Dragons, so yeah, that's sort of what got me into reading. 6. I googled all these questions. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? If I was going to ask, yeah, I have lots of questions I would ask my favorite booktubers, but nobody has the time to answer them all, I don't think. And I don't know if anyone's willing to give away their secrets, but I would just want to know is, how did you guys get subscribers and viewers so fast and get monetized so fast? Because some people seem like they've only been on the internet for like 6 months and already have thousands of, subscribers. And I don't know, I just, you always feel like everybody's ahead of you, but that's one of the questions I would ask them. Yeah, I think that's a major question I would ask them. Number 7, what challenges do you think starting a BookTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? What challenges do I think that starting a BookTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I mean, I think I've already overcome some of them 20 videos, and I mean, I didn't do much research when I started this. I just jumped right in with 2 feet, and I figured why do all the studying or try to prepare. Just I set up my phone, I bought a cheap mic, and now I have a new mic. I have a DJI 2 mic, just bought it, really excited about it, and I'm getting a new video setup, camera setup probably on the next video. I'm just waiting for my memory card and my new tripod to ship. But yeah, I've already overcome, I think, a lot of the initial challenges. It's just figuring out, like I said in the previous video, I thought it would be harder to do. I thought there would be more, hoops to jump through, or more technical stuff that I'd have to know. I didn't realize it would be so easy to just film a video, upload it. But then I didn't realize that there's all these rules that you're supposed to do, like, name your file name according to SEO or whatever, so that people can find it easier, and then do all your metadata and your tags and your keyword optimization and your description and all that, and I didn't know you had to focus on your thumbnails and your titles, and so I learned all that as I went. So I don't know if I had started to learn all that stuff beforehand if maybe by this point I would have had more views by now or more followers, but I must be doing something right because I'm noticing that little by little I'm getting more views every day and more subscribers. And I'm just not getting people commenting as much. But I'll get there. I'll get there. I'm confident. Yeah, I can't remember when I started reading, but I'll never stop. That's the easy answer to that one. Number 9, where do you read? These are some lame questions. I should have made up my own questions. Where I read anywhere, bus, train, home, bed, yeah, the beach, vacation, anywhere. Not really a good question, but we'll keep going anyway. And number 10, what kind of books do you like to read? What kind of books do I like to read? I like to read everything, I mean, I guess that's not really an answer. If you ask me what are my favorite type of books to read, I like true crime, I like memoir, I like mostly nonfiction, I like, psychological books, self-help books, and those kind of psychological books that are rooted in real science and not like pseudoscience. But I also like the self-improvement raw type, motivational books that just, get you off your butt to do things, or motivational type books. But I'm kind of past that now, but I'm trying to read more fiction. That's where I'm trying to challenge myself. And it's been tough, because I know a lot of people probably want to, booktubers to review more fiction than anything else. And when I Google other booktubers, that's all that comes up. At least for me, when I Google it, mostly what come up are women booktubers and less than men booktubers. So I feel like there's more women booktubers out there. I don't know if I'm wrong. I haven't, researched to see what the actual numbers are, but that's all that really seems to pop up for me. And it's just women reviewing fantasy books. So I've been purposely, been looking for male booktubers just to see what other male booktubers are doing, and especially like male booktubers which may be my age, so that, yeah, so the kind of books I like to read is anything, basically, but mainly if I had to, and even doing this booktube has made me realize that I'm kind of drawn to dark themed books, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. So horror or like, scary books and books about paranormal, ghosts, and for some reason I have a thing for Victorian books, whether they're true crime like Jack the Ripper type books, and ghost stories set in Victorian England, and but I like a good memoir, especially like the ones where the guys go to prison but then they get redeemed and get found innocent of all charges and spend 20 years in jail type of thing. I also like to read true crime, but I'm gonna review that stuff later, yeah, but that's the kind of books that I like to read. Moving on, number 11, which is the last question. What does your book collection look like? Well, there's part of it right there. But yeah, inside I have like a whole bookcase, maybe with I don't know, over 500 fiction titles on it, and then I have pockets of fiction everywhere else that I've picked up that sounds exciting, that's in queue to read at some point. But yeah, all my fiction, if you look through it, a lot of it is dark. But I'm finding too that I'm gonna have to offset some of that dark fiction with some rosy, feel-good, Pollyannish type fiction, because the dark fiction I've been reading has just been dragging me down. But I have like a whole bookcase, maybe like 200 like true crime titles, about prison life, drug smuggling, hitmen, Mexican cartel stuff, yeah, great stuff, exciting stuff, you know. I mean, yeah, I like the true crime stuff. I have a couple of memoirs, and then I have a big section of Caribbean fiction and Caribbean nonfiction, all about the Caribbean, just because I love the Caribbean. And so I'll be reviewing some of that stuff too, especially the Caribbean stuff, because I haven't found anybody who really reviews Caribbean fiction or nonfiction online. So maybe that could be a little bit of a niche for me, and I can find some like-minded people that like that and want to hear about it. So yeah, so there's the 11 questions. And let me know what you thought. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you resonate with any of that, and if you like my content, and what you want to see here, right? And that's it for now. All right. So we'll see you next time, guys. Take care.